That's how it works. Let's go, attack it. You want me to double cross block for me? I got it tight. What's coming out though? Circle up, circle up. That's miles better today, boys. Miles better. Just because it's fucking happy. It makes such a difference when people are smiling, having a joke. Let's remember that 3 more weeks.
Alright, Mr. Siobhan Bailey, second week in camp, how are things, gelling with the squad so far?
Well, things are going good so far. The energy is high, intensity is high, the boys are working hard. We're just here to have fun and we are having fun.
Day after day, you would say you're getting accustomed to the conditions and your teammates and everything?
Yeah, especially for the climate. We are not used to this thin here in Jamaica for local boys, but we are getting there. We are working hard and the result is showing.
And how did you feel when you got the news that you were selected for Jamaica for the World Cup?
Your country, getting called up for your country is always a good feeling. Excited, right through the roof. It was a great feeling.
And for you to get that experience up in Cumbria last week, what was it like to play on English soil for the first time?
Well, playing on English soil, good surface, not that you're used to in Jamaica, but it was great. Experience was good. I've learned a lot. I hope that I can carry back to Jamaica and share what I've learned here.
Welcome to Sports City. I'm Simon Preston. We're here at the home of Leeds Rhinos training ground in Kirkstall, West Yorkshire. So, Jamaica's Rugby League team are just hours away from kick-off in their first ever World Cup match against Ireland at the Headingley Stadium in Leeds. On Friday, the team will have to ensure that they put together the 17 members that will take the field against Ireland. 13 to start, and of course 4 substitutes. So that is on the table. So training sessions Thursday, the captain's run on Friday will be critical in terms of continuing to build that synergy within the squad, building that unity, that togetherness, that vibes. That will be critical moving forward. And that is something that we can expect as time draws closer towards Sunday's fixture. The Jamaican team, well, you can say that in week 2 of this training session it has been going quite well, quite smoothly for the most part, and there are reasons for optimism. Absolutely, there's many reasons for optimism, as when you look at this squad in particular, it's a good mix of the UK based and the domestic based players. So going into this World Cup, the players, the administration, they have expectations that the performances will be to a high standard. Let's just hope now that those performances can turn into positive results. I'm Simon Preston and this was Sports City. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe for more content.
He'll be okay. I'll come with him. You live. Big cats in that way. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Doing good, and you?
Always good. Oh, I'm just going to go for a special day to catch me in not a good mood.
Watch out for me.
Yeah, cool.
Cheers, bro.
Nick! All right, Joe, so this is the second week in camp. How do you think the lads have been doing and adjusting to conditions here?
Yeah, I think it's been great. Every time we come out in the training field, it's going up and up, you know, so it's obviously building into this weekend's game. The lads are raring to go, you know, and it's just another session today getting ticked off.
Yeah, and you know, you've been here from day one. You played with the likes of Danny T and Wayne Retty and those lads, you know. World Cup is a couple of days away. Has it truly sunk in yet for you?
Like we spoke about last night, you know, I'm not trying to think about it too much because I think it'll overwhelm you. But, you know, I think when we get to Saturday, in that last day before the game, I think, you know, we're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, and in terms of the lads, you know, from the island that came for the Cumbria game, you think that was a good test for them?
Yeah, you know, Cumbria had a great side out. You know, if you look at their front row, probably about 400 Super League games between their front row and stuff like that, you know. And I think it was a great test to see how the lads are working in the different combinations, and it just served its purpose, you know, with a good hit up.
Yeah, and I mean, you've been playing the game for quite some time now. You know, what advice would you give to the lads ahead of Ireland? Because, you know, they have a lot of professional lads in their setup.
Yeah, it's just, at the end of the day, we've just got to do your job. You know, if everyone does their job to their best ability, you know, the result will take care of itself. You know, if we can win those small battles that we're going to have within the middle of the park or on the edges, you know, we'll be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, and finally, you know, after the World Cup, you know, any plans to come to the island perhaps, and would you want to help out in the future like what Roy and Romeo is doing?
Yeah, definitely. You know, obviously it looks like there's plans for a couple of games over there next year, you know, so obviously I want to be involved within the coaching staff and come over and do a bit of workshops within the schools and with the coaches that you've got on the island and just upskill them and to hopefully take the other kids on the island to the next level.
Cheers, Joe.
Yeah, but you'd rather go out fresh in a game.
I can still do it. Nah, but it's all about the drop. You're messing him up. Drop it with your right hand. No, just loosen it forward. You need to drop it with your right hand. You drop it. You drop it right onto it. Drop it right onto it. Alright.
Yes, lads. Keep going. That's the pop stick. As soon as you get there, fast retreat on the play of the ball, come up, push, and then retreat back nice and quick. The second group, you can go by yourself. Just one group at a time.
Let's go.
Yeah, so just retreat on that one. Yeah, hold it.
Come back.
Yeah, hold.
Get up.
Let's make sure it's a quick retreat though. Quick retreat. We're a fortune, mate.
Ready? Just keep on the next. Keep it, boys. Keep it. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, through it. Tuski for the next key.
Oh, no, no, I'm
Let's get back there. Let's get back.
hold.
There's the ball. Let's go straight to Eyes on the ball. Let's get back. Hold. I'm here. Yeah, basket. Turn. Yeah, everyone.
So here we are, week 2 action of training for Jamaica's Rugby League team ahead of the 2022 Rugby League World Cup slated for England later this month. The Jamaicans, they'll open their campaign against Ireland on Sunday at the Headingley Stadium, and it is confirmed that you will have Jamaicans in their numbers coming from cities such as Huddersfield, Bradford, and of course Leeds, as there's a Jamaican population in these neighbouring cities towards Leeds. So the Jamaicans, they're going to need to announce their 17 players for this encounter. As we know, it's a 24-member squad, but they're starting 13 plus 4 players. They don't have to release the starting 13 just yet, but they need to reveal the 17 players towards the organising committee of the World Cup for the opening encounter against Ireland. All players are in camp, they're training, and they're intensifying their preparations ahead of the World Cup. Head coaches Romeo Monteith, Jermaine Coleman, and of course assistant Roy Calvert has been working through the tactics for the team ahead of the encounter on Sunday. Friday will be the captain's run for the team, and that will be an opportunity where the coaching staff will be able to fine-tune things ahead of Sunday's encounter against Ireland. So, from the Leeds Rhinos training ground in Leeds in West Yorkshire, I'm Simon Preston for Stream 876, and stay tuned for much more right here.
Alright, Jaden, firstly, how has it been, being in camp for a couple of days now with the lads?
It's been good with the lads. They've welcomed me in nicely and talked and showed me the moves and stuff so I can get used to it.
Yeah, and just so persons are aware, back on the island, tell us a bit about your Jamaican heritage. Is it parents, grandparents?
My grandparents and my dad's side, not my mum's side. That's it.
And how did you feel when you got the call from the coaching staff to be a part of camp?
At first, they texted me saying that there's a big chance I'll be picked in the 20-man from the squad, but I didn't get picked for that, and then people that are being injured. But I was happy to get told. I was happy.
What were you doing during that time? Were you on holiday? Were you at home?
No, I was at home, just doing some extras, some running and stuff.
And now just being here in the World Cup a couple of days away, has it sunk in as yet?
Not really. Just taking it as it goes.
Yeah, and I mean, you've seen our group for the World Cup: Ireland, New Zealand, and Lebanon. How do you think that the lads will do in the tournament?
I think we'll do good. We've got a good squad here, so I think we can win some stuff.
Alright, yes, Woody, as we know, a couple of days from now we're going to be playing our first game in the World Cup. Has it truly sunk in yet that we're at a World Cup?
I mean, I think the feeling's definitely coming on. The nerves are starting to kick in. Training's going well. We're really building, and we're looking to do something special. So, yeah, the feeling's getting there. But I mean, it won't fully hit me, I don't think, until I step out onto that pitch and hear the first whistle.
Yeah, I mean, you were there over in America for the qualifiers a couple of years ago. So, when you got the news that you're in the World Cup squad, what was the reaction like from your end?
Oh, elation. I know what this group's capable of. I've been a part of this group now for 4 or 5 years, and like you say, you mentioned America and the World Cup qualifiers. What a feeling that was to actually qualify for Jamaica. An amazing experience, an amazing feeling, and to be back part of this group. As soon as I got the call, I was like, yes, I'm going to be there. Just tell me when and where.
Yeah, and of course, post the World Cup, we had a couple of games against England Knights and Scotland. We went up to Cumbria last week. How key were those in terms of preparation for the tournament?
Oh, massive. You need to test yourself. I mean, there's only so much you can do in training. You need to see where you're at. I mean, I know we lost against Cumbria last week, but I took a lot of positives for that, the first half especially. I mean, and when you play in these friendly games, you chop and change your team about, so things get muddled up. But no, there's a lot of positives there, and it was good. It was a good reflection of where we're at and what we needed to work on, and that's what we've been trying to fix up this week in training.
And just so fans back home can get to know you a little bit better, let's talk about your Jamaican heritage. Is it your parents, your grandparents?
Yeah. Well, my granddad and grandma were part of the Windrush generation that came over. He lived over here as a baker. He obviously had his children. So my mother over here, she was born in the 60s, over here. And yeah, so that's my heritage. I've obviously a lot of family over there. So my family is based in Brownston, St Anne's province, and I've been over there, seen them. So yeah, that's my background, my heritage there.
Yeah, and of course you've played league for quite some time now, and you would know a lot of the guys that we're playing against, especially on the Irish team. So especially for the domestic-based lads, what are some of the things that they can look out for in this encounter?
For the Irish boys, yeah, they're going to be fiery, they're going to want to win, and known for their quick tempers. But no, there's some really good lads on that team. One of my good mates, Joe Keys, is playing in the halves for them. An excellent player, been one of the best players in the championship this year. So just watching his dummy, because he loves to show and go. And just, yeah, anything quick. And then obviously they've got some great players like Richie Myler, the King brothers, the Senior brothers. So yeah, just got to go in there and be physical with them.
Yeah, and finally, but we have quality in our squad as well, so I'm sure there's confidence in high to go and get a result.
Oh, definitely. As I said, anything can happen on a day. I've talked about our playoffs in our domestic game. We went in heavy favourites against York, and we came away with a loss. So anything can happen on a day. We just need to turn up, play our best rugby, and just not back down from anyone. We're going in as underdogs, but I wouldn't take it as a disrespect. I'd take it as an opportunity. So yeah.
Yeah, and finally, as you know, Yorkshire is home to many Jamaicans in Leeds, Huddersfield, and Bradford. So will the Ireland game, in a way, feel like a home game for us with the Jamaican diaspora?
Yes and no. I mean, if the Jamaicans show up in full force and we create an atmosphere, that party atmosphere that the country is known for, it'll feel good. It'll feel like being in Jamaica. So apart from the weather.
All right, Michael, it's the second week in camp with the Jamaican team. How are you gelling in at the squad and everyone else, really?
Yeah, no, it's been going really well. I've enjoyed training so far. I think stuff's starting to really pick up now. This week, the intensity in training has gone up a level. Obviously, we've got the business to do on Sunday against Ireland, so all the boys are stepping up in training and we're getting ready for our first World Cup game.
And just so fans back home get to know a little bit more about you, can you tell us about the Jamaican heritage? Was it parents or grandparents that came over?
Yeah, so it's my whole family came over. So my grandparents and my parents were both born in Jamaica. They both came to England in the 60s. Yeah, and pretty much they all migrated to Huddersfield. And then I just picked up the game from there. But my parents, my mum was born in Hanover in Jamaica, and my dad was born in Kingston. And they all came over to work in the textile mills in Huddersfield in the early 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, and we have an opportunity to catch a bit of the Super League back home in Jamaica. I just wanted to know from you what has contributed to that longevity that you've had at Huddersfield. Not many players in any sport get to play over a decade at one team,
Yeah, just consistency, hard work and consistency. From a young age, I was told that if you're consistent and if you're hard working, you will stay and you'll have a long career. So I make the most out of every single training day. I make sure I work really, really hard to stay fit and stay at the top of my game, because there's pressure from all areas when you're playing in Super League. You've got people constantly trying to take your spot, from the young boys to other signings, so you've got to make sure you stay at the top of your game, and the only way to do that is to work harder than everyone else, and that's something I've tried to pride myself on throughout my career.
Yeah, you made your debut for Jamaica in that England Knights game in 2019, but the qualifiers was the year before. Yes. Did you have a chance to watch the games and see the lads qualify?
Yeah, I actually signed up the year before. I really wanted to play in the qualifiers, but the coach at Huddersfield at the time, it was in pre-season, and I wasn't granted a release to come and play, which was very disappointing. But obviously, once I watched the games and I seen the boys qualified, I was over the moon, and I was adamant then that the next year that I would be playing, and I made that pretty clear. So, no, obviously since I've been in this group, it's been awesome. It's changed my life. I never enjoy Rugby League more than when I'm part of this group. So I know that obviously once I'm playing, I'll keep playing, and then when my career finally does end, I want to be part of this Jamaica group for a long time to come, whether that's on the coaching staff, helping out any way I can. I want to stay part of this group.
Yeah, you spoke about the game on Sunday coming up. You played most likely against some of these lads that we will play against. What advice would you give to some of the domestic lads that are a bit new to English conditions and some of the players they'll play against?
That's it. Just don't overcomplicate things and just do your job. Just do your job. Obviously, we've trained and we've prepared well. All the hard work's been done on the training field now. Enjoy it, embrace the experience. There's going to be a big crowd there. The game's going to be very fast, especially those opening exchanges. But you'll soon settle in and you'll soon realise it's just like any other game. You just focus in. Keep it nice and simple, do your job and be fine, and enjoy the experience.
Yeah, and despite the result over in Cumbria, were you satisfied that we got 80 minutes under our belt to build a bit of chemistry in the squad?
Yeah, definitely. I thought we got what we needed out of the game. Obviously that first half was very, very competitive, and then the guys got some good minutes in the second half. We put some of our shapes together and processes. We'd only had 2 training sessions before that game, so it's never going to be perfect. It's probably not going to be perfect this weekend, but hard work and effort will make up for those kind of things, and we're looking to build this game as the tournament goes on. So no, I'm very excited for Sunday's game.
Yeah, and Michael, of course, you know Yorkshire quite well, the Jamaican community in Huddersfield, Bradford, Leeds, so Sunday's game could feel like a home game for us if they come out, the fans.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously there's a large Caribbean contingent that are living in Leeds and the surrounding areas, so hopefully all these fans will come out and show their support for the Reggae Warriors this Sunday.
Alright, so we're here with Carl Fullstone, aka Potsy. Potsy, just so persons are aware of you, how long have you been doing strength and conditioning now, generally?
Started pretty much out of uni, so 2015.
And of course you've had some experiences with Salford and now Huddersfield Giants, so working with Jamaican players is nothing new to you?
No. I had a couple of lads already in the past, so Ash and Michael Lawrence I know well from being back at Huddersfield, and then a couple of them through championship ties.
And being in camp for 2 weeks now, how do you say the boys have been settling in and gelling into everything?
I think it's gone well, yeah. They seem to be getting on well together on the field, and they're training well in the gym and on the field, so I think it's gone well.
And in terms of the domestic lads that came over on the island, how have they been in settling to conditions and training and everything really?
I think it's difficult for them because of it only being a purely amateur setup over there. It's difficult to replicate the demands that are over here and what they experienced. I think that first week was a bit of a shock to the system, and the Cumbria game maybe highlighted that for some of them, but their effort and their enthusiasm has been top notch.
And finally, you see the quality of talent in the squad, so certainly have high expectations of them to perform well in the World Cup.
Yeah. I think we're here to compete. I don't think we're here just to make up numbers. So hopefully that Ireland game goes well, and then on the back of that, we'll see how it goes.
Boys, before we go out, make sure everyone understands the calls, the plays, the positions. Let's make sure we don't have to spend ages talking through stuff. We've got 45 minutes. Nice and sharp, nice and clean, and then we're off the bench. So last minute break.
Rob what? Rob Meaden.
Steady trot then, boys. Change that pace, eh? We have you. On the flip of that, boys, though, we know that shit. We've got 2 days to rectify that.
Look, Jason, I'll present your shirt. Simon, we'll get some photographs and stuff with you. And obviously, it'll get posted in the group. You can share this on your social media and stuff. So, number one, again, probably for me, a little bit about each person, probably one of the most professional people I've ever met. Just a really down-to-earth bloke, and just puts everything into his performance. And I'm glad to call him a friend, to be honest with you. That's Ben John for sure.
That projector to move from here. Why is it for the camera? Like that.
he's a full-time person and has done since he's been playing, no matter what level he's played at, whether he was playing League One, Championship now, and he really should get a shot at a high level, but more Gora. Probably going to be a bit disappointed you're not going to get a big cheer like you did last night. Next one up is Jacob Ogden. Making his official debut today. I know obviously there's a lot being said about his family and his heritage and stuff, so I'm really proud of him that he's chosen to represent Jamaica and represent that side of his family. Next one is Sergio. He is kneeling down. Next one up, again, another one who definitely should be playing Super League if he wanted to, but obviously he's choosing to play at the level he's playing at, but we're glad that he's with us and he's going to be leading us around the park today. And that's James Woodward. Okay, next one. Again, making his debut today. I think he's got a massive future ahead of him, and you know, we're grateful that he's here, and he should be the person that leads this team for the next 10 to 15 years. So I'm going to get to see the start of that bright future today. It's the third time I've worked with this person, and every time he's come, he's just adapted to everything he's done and tried to push himself to that next level. It's unfortunate today that due to injury he's not going to take part, but I know he's going to be there in spirit with all of you, be on the side of the pitch and cheering, and just shows what it means to be part of the team, that he's there, he doesn't miss anything, he's still happy for you to go out there and do what you're doing, despite the fact that he doesn't get the opportunity to do it. That's Kamisa. Another one came into the group in the last couple of years and has transformed us and pushed us forwards, and he's just helping us go to that next level with his experience, his knowledge, just his know-how about the game and his ability to go to drag other people with him. And again, I hope this is not the last competition that he plays for us, but Michael Lawrence. Another debutant, again, come in, not worked with you before, but made a massive impression on me. I know the rest of the staff were massively impressed with your performance, and I'm sure the players were as well, and I'm looking forward to see how you go in this World Cup. I fully expect you to pick up a Super League deal off the back of this World Cup because of your performances. AJ Wallace. Himself. I'll be honest with you, probably one of the people I'm most worried about in today's game. I know the ups and downs that this person's gone through with this group and the frustrations he's had at time, and I was desperate to see that frustration taken out on James Denton this afternoon. So I know he's probably just as good as everybody else that he's not playing, but pass. everybody, always got a smile on his face, always just happy to be around everybody. And it's infectious, it really is infectious. If you're having a shit day, go and get yourself around this person, because you can't do nothing but smile and get happy. And obviously he's now our captain, so that's massive.
Thank you.
Another person who I know has worked extremely hard, and again, this is the second time that I've worked with him, so I know he's been working extremely hard to get himself in this position to play, and unfortunately he's picked up an injury. But I know he's pushing really hard to try and get himself back fit for the tournament, and hopefully he does. It's Marvin. Two, I'm going to mention them together just because not all of you will know, but in the lead up to this World Cup, there were some concerns about people's fitness levels, appearance, and about the effort that they were putting in to get themselves in the best position to play. So there was an extras group created. It had 4 middles in it, it had 1 back in it. The 1 back wanted to put weight on, the other 4 middles were asked to drop a little bit of weight. And these two worked extremely hard, and I know dropped probably 5 or 6 kilograms to get himself in this position. The next one that I'm going to speak to you about, this one that I'm speaking to you about, obviously he's dropped out of the game, had the option there of just training and doing nothing, but went and played amateur rugby just to try and get his fitness up, just to try and stay in the right condition, so that he was in the best condition for us as a group. And kudos to him for doing that, because he looks fucking $1 million at the moment. So I'm looking forward to seeing that today. Jordan.
About 50 quid.
And this person, as I said, in that extras group, doing a hell of a lot of work. As you all know, this is another one pretty special to me to present, and that's Keenan. Like every group, you have the most enthusiastic person, you have someone who's a little bit down and just seems like he's grumpy all the time, and then always have that one that's super fucking annoying, but you just can't help but like him, and that's Little Fish. Next one, there's been a lot said about this person, and I'm sure most of you know it anyway, but just the backstory that he obviously started his playing career on the island, took it upon himself to move over to England and try out himself a contract over here, and managed and was successful enough to do that, and has now spent the last couple of years playing in League One, playing at that semi-professional level, and now has obviously got the opportunity to come and play with Jamaica, and since he's been around the group has been brilliant. He was amazing in the build-up to the World Cup. He's always putting his hands up, travelling from London to Hull and London to Manchester to go and represent us and get our story out there. And I'm really proud of what he's done. So that's a big year. This one's a late addition to the group. Obviously, as you know, we had some injuries, we had things going on, and this person got brought to me towards the back end of the season, probably only about 3-4 weeks before we made selection. And it was one of those, is he going to be able to give up his job, is he going to be able to take some time off? And I'll be honest with you, the phone call was done in 30 seconds. We're interested in you playing with us, yeah, no problem, I'll be there. And that's probably a mark of the person and how much it probably means to him, what he wants to be here, that he just dropped everything on the drop of a phone call. And that's Brad Hope. This one's probably been a bit touch and go, if I'm honest, all year. Has struggled with injury, has struggled to string some performances together and stay in the team and stay injury free. But obviously he's got himself in a position now where he's able to play. There's been lots of things happened in Greg's career, and he's made massive improvements and had, you know, big lows as well. So I'm really glad it's here. I'm glad he's going to get to represent it. I know he's been around the group for a long time. So next one is Greg. Next one, probably the person that's impressed me the most. More so because I knew nothing about him. Never seen him before. Not really heard his name mentioned before, not seen him play, not seen him do anything, and has come over, and from day one, and if you remember we had a meeting in Headingley Lodge, and I gave you a little bit of a quiz about the shapes and asked you to know the shapes. It was a bit shy, I didn't want to put his hand up and say anything, but I could hear him sat at the table in front of me, he was answering everything just like that. So massively caught my attention, and then going on the pitch, just exactly the same, just willing to listen, willing to do what you're asking to do, he's happy to work hard. No answering back, no questions about anything that's said to him. And I think probably the majority of the playing group feel exactly the same, that's Sean. Okay, next one. Again, second time we've worked with this person. First time we worked with him, he was brilliant. He was in amazing shape and performed really, really well. I'll be honest with him and told him I didn't think he was in the shape he should have been this time, but I was still excited to see how he played, and I thought he could offer something to the group. But unfortunately, that's picked up an injury that's going to rule him out probably the rest of the World Cup. But obviously he's going to be here, he's going to be around the group. I know he's going to stay positive. You know that who it is because he'll have his music on 24/7. And that's probably. Again, someone I've not worked with before. I've seen little clips of him before he came, and I was interested to see how he was going to go. I think he found the first week fairly difficult amongst us, just with that adaptation of being in a different country, being away from his family. But I think you're starting to see probably the real person now coming out of his shell a little bit more, a little bit happier, singing around, dancing around, and that's Andrew. These four shirts till last for one main reason really. We spent a lot of time talking about our journey and as a group and what's happened, and there's been different attempts to get us to this position. And in 2011 is my first one that I remember. That was our first big effort. We had some good names going out there. We had Carl Price going out there and playing. Jermaine Ray went out there and played. But there's 4 people amongst the group that were also there in 2011, went over and played in Philadelphia, I think maybe Jacksonville. Played against South Africa and played against America. And for me, I thought it was important to share that with you, that they started this journey in 2011 and they've done all them different competitions up to the point of 2017 where we qualified for this moment, for this one opportunity to come and play in a World Cup representing Jamaica. And I think it's just a massive achievement. I don't really want to get too emotional, but Joe's been there since 2011 and has done everything, so Joe Brown. Obviously looks a little bit different now, but he's still here, he's still with us, and I know he's still going to give everything that he's got. Next one in that group. Some of you might not know who he is, and some of you will know who he is. He's got no idea I'm about to do this, but it's the first time in in my time involved in Jamaica, I've actually got to work with this person in person. I've had lots of conversations, and some of them were quite heated. And we had some disagreements on what was said and what should be happening. But since we've been here, my respect level has gone up a million times for this person, just for his knowledge, just his ability to learn, his ability to adapt, his willingness just to be around that. And it's interesting to see him. There was another picture that got posted up this week where he's in his kit. Hopefully that will get shared in the group, and that's Roy. So another person was there in 2011, and he's here today, but obviously can't play because of his injury. I just think it's probably all to share with you, just to show you why this is so important. So I thought it was an opportunity to give him the chance to speak to us, because he didn't have the chance to play today, but we do. We still have a chance to go out there and fucking represent everything that this means to us. And that's about. To be honest with you, as he said, with 2011 we started, and it was a tough ask. Everyone here has put their hand in the pocket and paid to be here. I wish I was out there today with you. So just go kill it.
Just for me, obviously you've been speaking about the journey and everything else, but today you've got the opportunity to create history. I've been lucky enough to play in 3 World Cups, and very few people will get to ever represent their country, and this is the first time Jamaica have been represented in a World Cup. So there's lots of boys, as we've seen, that are not able to do it. We know the stories, we know the hard work over the years from Roy. Just today is about going out there and actually delivering. We can talk about what it means and everything else. You can talk until the cows come home, but you guys have got to deliver it today for everybody else. For Jermaine, for all the work that's been done by these guys that have gone out and got kit and started everything. And just trailing all over the place just for you guys to be able to go out and express yourself. So what happens over the next sort of 4 weeks, you're just got to stay tight. Every time you get an opportunity to put the shirt on, you've got to do it proud. It's one thing getting hold of the shirt, it's actually doing it justice. So this is kind of, for me, it's step 1. You've got the shirt. Today you've got to go out and you've got to play like you've never played before. When you feel like you can't go on anymore, you've got to drag yourself up off your feet. You've got to work for your mate. If he misses a tackle, you're there every time. So today, the talking stops. Today, it's about delivering it, going out there, being proud. We've all got Jamaican heritage. We've all in some way been part of the journey. But now you've got to take it to the next level. There's lots of family, lots of friends, people that have just come to see you. Lots of people have made so many sacrifices for you guys to do what you're doing now. So this is kind of the calm before the storm. But when you get to the stadium, it's up to you now to take it to that next level. And for those that are watching you, we just want to be proud. We're all going to be behind you every step of the way, no matter what happens in any of the games. There's a unit that you've created that's going to have to stick together week after week after week. And hopefully, when it's all done, we'll look back and just think, wow, what an opportunity. What an opportunity to be the first ever players to represent Jamaica. So don't take it for granted, don't take it lightly, because there's so many people that would want to be in your place today. But you've got to get excited. this is what it's all about. All the hard work, all the times you've had to strip weight, all the conditioning sessions, everything else, it's for now. All the crap that you've been through is for now, so you can have days like this. And if this is your last day today in a Jamaican shirt, make sure it's one that you're going to be proud of. So I hope it goes well today.
Okay, we're just going to finish off. If you want to just hang the shirts over the front, all of you got sent something from Nick the other day, the anthem. Yeah.
Let's go, push for the first.
Alright, so we're here with Kieran Rush. Firstly, Rushy, you played in a World Cup for Jamaica. How did that feel?
Just proud and honoured, really. Just that feeling walking out and singing the national anthem, it's just something I'll never forget. Remember it for the rest of my life. So just, yeah, a lot of pride right now and, yeah, just enjoying the journey.
Yeah, in terms of the result, yes, it was disappointing, but how do you feel that we played?
I feel like we've got a lot of positives to take out of that. Obviously, we sort of played into their hands a bit when we played through the middle, so we can fix that up in training this week. But there was a lot of positives to take that. They are a good outfit, so I think they'll go far in this competition. So we can be proud of what we've done tonight, but there is work to do.
And for you, scoring Jamaica's first points in a World Cup, how did that feel?
Yeah, honoured, mate, honoured. To make history like that, it's something not a lot of people do. So yeah, I'm just taking it all in, really. And
to see the large number of Jamaican fans in the stands, how did you feel about that?
Oh, it was amazing. Walking over to that stand at the end, that's something I'll never forget as well. Just seeing all them proud fans, just to represent the badge and the heritage that we've all got. It's just amazing.
So we're here with Jamel Coleman, Reggae Warriors player. Firstly, Jama, what has the experience been like, coaching here with the national team?
Yeah, it's been really good. It's always good vibes when you're in camp. Everybody's happy and enjoying themselves, and it's been really good. The boys are taking things on board and building going forward, and setting that legacy and that we've been trying to do all along.
Yeah, but in terms of the coaching arena, this is not something new to you. Of course, did some work with Jermaine down in London, right?
Yeah. So I was assistant coach at London Broncos at the beginning of last year. So I've done a bit of coaching, you know, there and things like that. And it's something that I want to continue doing as my career passes through and I finish playing. So yeah, it's not new to me, and it's, you know, something that I'm really interested in. So it's been really good.
I mean, yeah, you've played rugby league for a number of years now, but just being part of this national setup, playing for your country, and being part of this experience, what has it been like for you?
Yeah, it's come full circle, really. You know, I started playing back in 2011 when we were funding our own way to America, and just kind of setting out on our journey to try and qualify for the World Cup, and we've had some unsuccessful attempts along the way, and it's been tough, but yeah, now we're here. You know, all that's been worth it, and there've been good learning blocks along the way, and the pride that you feel when you're playing for your country and playing for Jamaica is great, and you know, it's an experience and feeling you don't often get, and a lot of people will never get. So yeah, it's really good, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and as you know, next year we'll have the qualifiers for 2025 in Jamaica. Just wanted to know from you, in terms of your recovery and plans to get back on the pitch, how are things going there?
Yeah. So I had a scan on Monday, and I'll find out the full extent of what my injury is, you know, in the coming days and timescale. I'll find out from there. But yeah, you know, I've been, as I said, I've been part of it for a long time, and it's something I want to continue doing. So capacity-wise, next year, whether I'm playing or coaching, I want to be doing something, but I want to be there and helping the boys out in one way or another. So yeah, I suppose in terms of a time frame, I'll know in the coming days, but I will be there next year.
No, the rest of the negative. Power is
that's the word recognition, isn't it? When they read words, you say it. That you see someone's mind, that. I just said power injury. Power injury. 12, 10.
We'll take a song at the end, bud. Externals on my back. No chance.
Two of my kids on my
Pass to him. Nico's busting it. Can you run with this? Come on, Red. Come on, Red. Come on, Red. Come on, recovery,
yeah, you can't be the first pass, man. Oh, we'll just give you the play then. We'll just let you flash play, shall we? Yes, sir! Come on with the ball,
Hey! Come on, Red. Come on. The flick pass. Stop it. Let's go, boy. Get him. Yeah, man on.
Hey, he's pulling me there.
Your ball coming this way, Woody. Your ball coming this way. Woody, our ball. What? Pass back. Up and get it. Yeah, get that out of there. Love that shit. Play on us that. Press over. Come Onside, long ways. Yeah. Kenan. Yeah, love it. Hey. Yeah, no touch. Yeah. Walking in, love that. Trying here. Yeah.
So we're here with the equipment manager of Jamaica's Rugby League team, that is Nicholas Wright. Nick, how many years now have you been in this sort of role capacity with the team?
It's been, I'd say now, been over 5 years. It's been over 5 years since I've been a part of the program. I started playing. Rugby League for Jamaica back in 2000 and it was 2011. I started playing. So I've been around the guys for 11 years now, pretty much. I started a rugby club back in Jamaica. So I like what I do. I like to be involved, and so as much as I'm not out there on the playing field in the World Cup, I'm happy to be a part of the squad.
And when you look at the talent part of the squad, it can only give you optimism about how we do in this World Cup.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent on and off the field. It's a great bunch of guys. I think that we have a lot of growth to manifest, and the reason why I say that is because this is our first World Cup, and so I am learning as I'm going as well, and so I imagine the guys they are learning as they're going as well. Although we're playing in a professional environment, we're trying to maintain a professional environment, and so our skills can only get better from this point going forward.
Yeah, and the role that you have, would you say it's different being at a World Cup compared to the qualifiers and so on, just being on the world stage? Is it different?
Yeah, there's a lot of difference, trying to set up a professional environment for the guys. One of my primary duty is to ensure that these guys have every single thing they want on a daily basis. Whether it's training day or match day, I have to be the person that's first on site. I got to get everything set up for the coaches and for the players. I'm that middleman, pretty much. If my part is not contributed, or if I don't do my role, you can find that a lot can go wrong, because the players they expect a professional environment, and they only want to focus on playing. I don't have to worry about other stuff.
Yeah, boys, let's go. Let's pick this skill up. I'll get there.
Here's your rules. You've got a coach in each team, so Roy, you've got blues. Yep. Reece, you've got reds.
Yep, I've got reds.
I've got greens. Jammer's got non-bibs. Shit pass. Start again. Drop ball. Start again. Where the judges, the whole team.
Rich, can't get all the way back to the way. Yeah, beautiful, smooth. Nice, Ross. Yeah. No, go. Oh, the dream team's all over this. Yeah. Come on. Stay now. Yeah, ball's out. Ball's out. Marvin. Yeah, rush it. Out and back. Yep. Yeah, I'll go. Yep. Nice boys, nice boys.
We'll start, boys, yeah? Put that noise on.
We'll go into lunges, lads. Nice and quick. Naturals. What? I don't understand why that's... Squats. Come on, jump.
Kamisa, we know 2 weeks ago there was a collision in Cumbria. Firstly, how are you doing and how training has been going for you?
Back in training, feeling good. I thought that I would be able to play the first game, but you know, protocols, I respect the doctors and stuff, so I was out for that game. I think I'm ready to go.
Yeah. And being back at a pitch, has it sunk in yet that you're at a World Cup and just being on these quarter surfaces?
From the day I landed in England, it has been on our mind that we've made it here, and it's an awesome feeling.
And the captain Ashton has said that we're not here to make up the numbers, we're here to compete. How is the captain's run today and building towards tomorrow?
The captain run today was really, really good. I do believe that a lot of people think that we're just here to make up numbers, but we're definitely going to compete, and they're going to be a shocker tomorrow.
So make sure everything's a fucking genuine lead. If you're carrying that ball, and you're trying it through. If we're being honest, we're not going to fucking run over the top of people and bully them. But what we can do is be smart about what we're trying to get to. Right? If you're trying to get to a point and you're laying that point, use a little bit of footwork, find your front if you can, and just get that play the ball as quick as possible. And then everything needs to be nice and crisp and everything needs to be nice and flat. Right, but the energy's good, just keep moving that point of attack, keeping your numbers. I know we're talking about that back rower in at market. It's not going to be on every time. It's just about identifying it and making sure we give ourselves an option. All right, make sure we're always an option, we're always there, we're not just fucking ignoring it and not looking at it. All right, you want to add anything?
Yeah, boys.
Sorry, 1 second, bro.
Yeah, guys, and on attack, speed the ball is a meter or 2 meters from the try line. Ensure that first pass is a bit deep.
Yeah, man. That's Ronaldo Wade. Of history scoring Jamaica's first try in a World Cup. Firstly, your emotions, how you feeling?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm feeling, to be honest. It's just a bit crazy. Yeah, it's just, I'm just happy. I'm happy that with the effort we've put in and we've got a reward out of it and something to build on.
And in terms of having your family here, playing with your teammates, the 300th game, representing your country, all that tying in, how does that feel for you?
Yeah, it's everything. It's everything. Representing my heritage. I know my family here and those who couldn't be here watching. And Jamaicans around the world and obviously back in Jamaica as well watching. And hopefully we're planting seeds and for the next generation. And we're building and we want to be here to stay and we want to be ready for the next World Cup.
Well fun.
Door after door.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for your patience. We have with us this evening captain of the Regular Warriors, Ashton Golden, and lead coach, Jermaine Coleman. We're ready to take your questions. Please raise your hand and identify yourself and your organisation, and we can commence.
The history tonight, Jermaine. Sorry if you go back there.
Sure. Megan, Sportsby. Yeah, Jermaine, a bit of history tonight, that last try, how are you feeling after that and how proud are you of getting over the line for it?
Yeah, massively proud. I think it's a huge moment for us as an organisation, a huge moment for Rugby League, and there's not more of a fitting person amongst our group to deserve that really. Ben on his 300th game is to get the try and make history and have that there written on paper for the rest of his life. It's going to be an amazing moment for him, and so I'm chuffed to bits for him. I think we really wanted to make this a special occasion for him today. We had a pretty emotional sort of shirt presentation this morning with him, and for him to cap that performance off with a try is amazing.
Ash, did the night go? Did you have preconceptions of how the night would go and how the reality match up with your expectations?
Well, first of all, as a player, I like to go into the game just fully focused on ourselves and what we can do and how we're going to approach the game and our game plan, and we stuck to it. I think, you know, we did ourselves proud in areas, you know, there's clear areas where we need to fix up, but effort and attitude-wise, you can't knock it. And you know, the game plan to get them, we started to get them at certain bits, but you know, sometimes class shines through and they close the gaps and they just capitalise on the back of it. So us going into the game, it was all about us, and you know, after the game, it still becomes all about us and what we can do off the field, and then what we can do on the field building forward is not only massive for the competition that we're in now, but it's massive for the game of Rugby League, and hopefully we can capture people's imagination and start to change people's perception of a North of England sport and actually throw this sport to everyone and everywhere, and that's the ultimate goal that we're trying to do. So tonight, from 1 to 17, I'm so proud of the boys, and to be able to go out there and be the perceived leader. There were 17 leaders on that field, and like Jermaine says, to cap it off with Benjo the Bishop scoring that try, there just couldn't be a more fitting person to cap off his 300 appearances. So ultimately just pride tonight, and we stuck to our game plans and systems, and you know, in the end we got the try, and that's what it's about for us. So you know, really happy with the way that we came through at the end, and the last 9 minutes, you know, it could have been a blowout because everything was gone. You know, we're 60 down, and we could have just thrown it away, but we didn't. We stuck at it, and you know, we got something from the game, and if that's not to take something to inspire kids, then I'm just not sure what else we're doing this for.
Jermaine, Andrew Boss had a lot of fun with the short restarts. He said it was a world record for getting the ball back for short restarts. Can you tell us a little bit about the little plan there?
Yeah, I think ultimately, you know, New Zealand are a big strong team, and I think we saw last week in Ireland struggled slightly through the middle, and you know, we had a lot of talk this week about denying them some space up the middle, and you know, they've got some big boulders, and I don't think it would have made sense. I think people spend a lot of time in Rugby League making all the common sense, but it made no sense to be kicking it 60 metres and then giving them a 20-metre run up. So we thought, you know, more opportunity for us to get the ball back. We looked at when they played Leeds, and Leeds did it quite a lot, and I think they were on about 60% sort of conversion rate to getting the ball back. So we thought we'd spend a bit of time this week practicing on it. Rushy, to give his credit, he's kicked off, he's got balance, everything. He got the distance, the height, everything perfect, and you know, what we do was jumping around like a salmon out there and fish. So you know, we managed to get the ball back, and it just gives us a chance to be in the game. Obviously, you see we kind of switched it up a little bit. There's a couple that went a little bit longer, and you know, by the end of the game, they had probably 7-8 people on the front line. It allowed us a little bit more space at the back, and it was a back carrying it back and forward rather than the middle. So just switching it up and giving ourselves as many opportunities as we possibly can to compete, really.
Judy? Yeah, looking ahead to the Lebanon game, you just mentioned that you've been switching up for this game. Do you feel that you'll be doing the same moving forward as well, and the changes to come, or do you think you've got enough formula?
I think we've tried to work with the same formula week after week, really, and I think what you saw today was probably the progression of that. It's the progression of spending 2-3 weeks together and just getting on point a little bit and getting more to where we want to be. You know, like I said, we're still far distance from where we want to be and a far distance from what we want to achieve. But the point is that when we're working forward and we're making progress, and over this course of this sort of month that we're together to make the progress from where we were, you know, with players from the domestic league and players from League One and players from Championship to where we potentially might be at the end of the competition. I think there'll be huge growth there, and ultimately that's, you know, as mentioned today, that's what the sport's about, that's what the competition's about. I don't think you'll probably find another team, in my opinion, biased as it may well be, that will make the growth that we will make over this competition. So, you know, for us, it's just that learning curve. It's that first step on the platform. It's at this, you know, the start of the competition. It's about our legacy, it's about where we're going forward, and we wanted to earn everybody's respect. I think the boys have done that, and credit to them. You know, Ash has put 2 80-minute performances against 2 international teams, and was top tackler in the competition last week. We won't be sure if he'd go far off doing exactly the same again. You know, again, we base everything that we do on effort and choices, and you know, you see out there the boys turn up for each other and the boys make the right choices for each other on a regular occasion. We have to just get a little bit smarter and a little bit more technical with some of the stuff, but again, that comes with experience, it comes with exposure at this level. You know, Ash is working at that level on a day-to-day basis, whereas Siobhan Bailey, for example, just misses out the sort of the nuances in the tackle about where you can win the tackle and slow the tackle down. But the experience that he's got and the opportunity that he's had and what he's going to take back to the island when he goes back is going to be phenomenal. And that's what we want. We want to grow the game, and that's been a big part of what we want to do.
Ash, was there much said out there, the Kiwi players say much at the time, and the Guard of Honour, was that a spontaneous thing, or was it organised by you, or can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, no, I think what makes tonight even more special for me personally is because you're not just going up against an opposition that are ranked number one in the world, you're going up against good people, and they were really good people. You know, in the heat of the battle, it's a competition and you've got to have that fire in your belly, but as soon as the final whistle goes, the overall feeling from New Zealand towards us was respect. You know, there was respect in the way that we're trying to change things in Rugby League, and they respected the effort. They knew they'd been in a flipping contest tonight. Sorry about that. They know they've been in a contest tonight, and that's what we wanted. You know, we're not going to get respect off the field by the base of Jamaica's got a Rugby League team. Actually, we get the opposite. We get a lot of disrespect, and it infuriates me. But you know what we do? We have to go out there and get respect on the field. And I feel like the scoreline looks a certain way, but if you watch that game, there was moments in there where we're competing, and there was set for set and cycles. And for me, that's where we earn respect. And I think respect comes when we don't say dying at the back end of the game. We go and we score a try, and we just keep pushing and pushing. And after that whistle, the overall feeling from the New Zealand boys was absolute respect for us and what we're trying to achieve, and equally from us to them. You know, we have to respect New Zealand and what they're about and what they're about to go do. You know, wish them well. I hope they go win it. Things like that. You know, because they're a great opposition. But to test yourself and to know where you are as a rugby league player, you've got to play them, and you've got to play them consistently. And that's why we want to keep pushing and pushing and gain qualification for 25 and push ourselves again. And who knows where we can be. You know, we've seen where we've come in 5 years. That's why I've been on the journey for 5 years, and we've got to this point. I think give us another 5 years with a bit more funding and see where we get, because the sky is the limit for us, and we know that, and we know what we do internally within our group is the right things. You know, we enjoy ourselves off the field together, and on the field, you can see, as you just saw, we just work for each other. So respect was the first thing that they said to us, and then they said, you know, you're staying in Leeds and do you want to have a beer?
It's interesting that the last try denied New Zealand their biggest ever win, and that was against Tonga in 1999. So if you can go as far as Tonga has the next day, time, you'd be pretty happy, wouldn't you? 74-0 they beat Tonga in 1999, and now they can win the Tonga.
Yeah, I think that was something that the staff spoke about before we got the boys into camp, was about what Tonga had done and what they created at the last World Cup, and the momentum that they've had from that and how they've grown from it. And you know, it's important for us to try and replicate that and do it our way, do it the way we want to do it, but use them as an example of the way that a team and an organisation can progress and make them steps forward. And I think, you know, credit to the guys off the field, you know, Romeo and Roy and Dixon and everyone back on the island, the work that they've done. And as Ash said, you know, Ash was involved when we went over France, was it? Went over to France, and yeah, just the steps that we've made forward, the players that we've brought through, and you know, the players that we could have had within the group is massive. And I just think, you know, we are onto a bit of a winner here, and I think it does require the sport of, it does require the sport to back us and give us a bit more support. You know, we are a small organisation. We're doing our very best to fund ourselves and compete with the best in the world here. But you know, for many years, players have paid for themselves, and you know, this is if the sport wants to grow and the sport wants to do all the things it talks about and being as inclusive sport as what it needs to be, then it needs to start looking at where they're putting their funding and what work they're actually doing, away from the big teams, the Super League teams, the Englands, the New Zealands, and how are they supporting ourselves, how are they supporting Greece, how are they supporting Wales, all them teams that need some support to grow the game, because there's massive potential there. And that's what we're asking for. We're asking for an opportunity, and I think you see out there, if we're given that opportunity, then we've got something to deliver on the field.
Anyone else? Thank you very much, everyone. We appreciate
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No, there's no glass in it. Cups for you. No. That was going before the game, and I just smiled.